Well, happy birthday, Mark Frimston.
There you go. That's a real life shout out coming to you straight from the Stoic sofa.
Happy birthday, Mark. And yeah, I do.
What have you got for me?
It's the 9th of Feb. Listen, I'm going to help you with something here. Okay? A little bit of curly chops, a little bit Marcus Aurelius.
Ooh, okay.
We have the power to hold no opinion about a thing, and not to let it upset our state of mind. For things have no natural power to shape our judgments.
Wow. There's loads in there. I'm excited to get into this. I did a conversation with Robin Drake.
Had or did?
I did one. I did one, and it was a good one.
Okay.
I had a conversation with Robin Drake, who was ex-FBI, and he gave me some advice, and he said that when you are having a conversation with somebody, a lot of the time, you say something like, "Oh, I've just got back from Marbella, and I had a lovely time." I should typically, as human beings, I want to run in and go, "Oh, I went to Marbella," or "I did this," or "I did that." But actually, when you don't have an opinion and you ask a few more questions and you stick in it a little bit longer, that's the sweet spot. That's like how communication really, really works. So not having an opinion on stuff, this is a great theme for February the 9th.
I was in sales training with a guy a little while ago, right? And we were talking about mirroring, repeating 1 to 3 words from what someone just said, labeling, and summaries, right? So labeling we've talked about before, seems like, feels like, and then summaries, just saying something, okay, so what you're saying is, and you're repeating that back to them. He was a bit skeptical. On the call, I did it back to him without him noticing. But then I said to him, look, if you don't think it's going to work, practice it in a low stakes environment. And he was like, well, I'm going to a party with my girlfriend this weekend. And then we had some sales training the next week. So he's offering no opinion about himself to people, like new people that he's meeting. He's not telling them anything. They're just telling him things. And he's going, oh, it sounds like you're really passionate about that. Oh, it feels like that was quite a frustrating spot to be in. Okay, so what you're saying is, and he's playing it back to him and he's repeating different bits, but he's adding nothing new about himself. And he said to me, you know what, it's so weird. Everyone loved me at that party. They're all telling my girlfriend what a nice guy I was. I didn't tell them anything about myself. He gave them no opinion about himself, but they still really, really liked him. Yeah. Because someone's favourite subject is always the same. It's always themselves, right? And then I think about, well, sales leaders that are out there, right? They've got sales teams, and they're going to stand in front of them and give them their opinion, right? And the sales team's going to roll their eyes back. They're going to be like, oh, I don't know if I'm taking this on board.
Different in your day.
Yeah, because something you need to realise is if I've got an idea and you've got an idea, even if it's unconsciously, you'll always prefer your idea over mine. So being a good sales leader is not telling someone how to do something. It's helping them get to the conclusion themselves. Yeah? So oftentimes when people come to us in our team and they, maybe they find it annoying from time to time, they're like, oh, I'm having this problem. What would you do? I'm like, okay, well, what do you think's happening there? What do you think the problem is? When you've come across this before, have you found anything that works quite well? Okay, and did you do that this time? No, okay. And then suddenly they're going, oh, right, I get it. Because they prefer their idea to yours.
Yeah.
And you can create something that's got much more embedded than, I think it takes something like 17 times or something like that. This might be, feel free to fact check that. 17 times of me telling you something before you actually get what I'm telling you. Yeah. But you can figure it out once, you'll take it on board.
Yeah, that's so good. And for sales leaders as well, it starts with that self-awareness piece, but actually the best salespeople, the best sales leaders, that they don't stand at the front and just tell you or dictate. They lead. Because you hear horror stories of sales leaders that have kind of been in sales for 30 years. They've not made a cold call since the 90s. And they get on and they'll say, oh, well, I'll do it like this. Or they'll give their opinion. But actually, the world has changed since then. So, like, the world's ever changing. So, use people that are on the front line to get their feedback. And then you can start to build it together. There's loads in that. But I think it's a great thing as well on sales calls. A lot of the time, you've got this knowledge about your product or your solution, and you want to run in and be the expert and say, well, if they say, oh, we're talking to X competitor, well, you want to give your opinion on them because you want to say, well, they're probably not as good as us because of X, Y, and Z. But you don't need to give your opinion.
No. I think even if you're in a competitive space, so your sales force You know someone's probably looking at HubSpot, they're looking at, I can't think of another CRM, but they're looking at other CRMs.
Other CRMs are available.
Other CRMs are available. When they jump on the call, your frame of mind shouldn't be, okay, well, let me tell you why Salesforce is so good. You should start off that call by saying, look, there's a lot of really good CRMs in the space. We're one of them. I suppose, why would you come to us?
Yeah.
And they're going to say, well, because I want X, Y, and Z. I've heard you're really good at this. And then you, okay, that's interesting. So essentially, I've got your opinion on this rather than giving you mine. And I think it's just a really useful frame to get into. We talk about something called the IKEA curve. The thing people really like about IKEA is you've built it yourself. So there's a bit of pride in the ownership. People prefer things that they've built themselves. So if you've got a product that's demoable, it's a software or something, before you jump in, having a moment to say, look, before I jump in, if you were in my shoes or you were in the developer's shoes, what would you want this to look like? What does this need to look like to stand a chance of working in your business?
Yeah, that's so interesting. I thought the thing people liked about IKEA was the meatballs. I've been Jack Frimston.
I've been Zach Thompson.
Remember, you will die.
Meatballs.